So last night Giuseppe got in a car accident, not within our car, fatigue. Hello beautiful comrades, so today we're gonna go to Oregon. This is April 29th and we're gonna be there till April 1st and gonna take off and drive all day back to Canada. Things didn't go according to plan, that's for sure. So I'm not going alone this time. Currently I'm waiting for Giuseppe. He's a guy that has a YouTube channel and his main gig is wildlife photography, but recently he got a Jeep Rubicon. He's been upgrading it quickly just for this trip, which may turn out not to be too off-roady anyway, but it doesn't matter. For us, the mission at this point is just get out of Vancouver, hopefully to somewhere where there is no rain, a little warmer, sleep in cars, whatever, do a camping thing. If it turns to be a road trip, so then it's a road trip, not an overland trip. Well, I wouldn't even call it overland trip, like 3 days. That's not really overland, that's more like off-road camping thing. But anyway, it doesn't matter what it turns out to be, we're gonna be happy just to be out there. A little adventure, and we're actually unprepared. So he was busy, I was busy, we both were quite busy in the past 2 weeks. I was preparing for a little bit for auto show, cleaning the truck, this and that, doing taxes, all kinds of things. Same with him, he was upgrading, I was installing antennas, doing some videos, because I felt like I should do them or process them now, otherwise it will never be done. But 2 weeks ago I did have a backup plan. On Gaia I found this Oregon Backroads Discovery Trail, Part 5. I know there is a site that exists for that, where you can purchase each section. I think there's 6 of them for Oregon. I wasn't sure if I want to purchase or what's going on there, and it's kind of pricey. And there were like several versions of it, or at least part of it, on Gaia, like that people share. So I just like, okay, and it's been actually syncing on, because Gaia is kind of slow for that. So it's been syncing for about 5 days now, and only on one of the phones it's actually completed. I just like sync a long track, and it's a long track. It's like starts mid-Oregon and goes all the way to California a little bit. But we don't have time for that, so it's we only got 4 days. So today, big drive, push somewhere, camp, whatever. Then 2 days to do whatever, and then on Sunday we have to, in the morning, just start driving back to Vancouver. We left completely late after yesterday's auto show. I guess I got tired, I came home, popped a beer, I guess made like 1 or 2 sips, and I woke up today late with that beer still intact pretty much. He also got delayed. He was put new tires on, bigger tires, all that, but the spare somehow was blocked. Anyway, he needed to return to dealership for them to do it properly, so he's delayed too. I'm actually still waiting for him, and he lives like an hour and a half drive from here, quite far. So leaving very late. It's already 11 o'clock, and we were supposed to, our agreement was let's meet at 8 a.m. pretty much at the border here, so we have, you know, good time, good amount of time to drive today. So not happening. Already like probably gonna be 4 hours late before we take off, figure out where the hell we're going. I don't know, we're gonna have to figure out once he arrives here what we're gonna do. But in the end we both agreed that doesn't matter what's gonna happen, it's a little adventure. That's the whole point. Road trippy, overlandy, off-roady, who cares at this point? As long as we're not in the office, not at home doing the same routines. Hey, it's good to see you. Finally, you made it.
Yeah,
you know, you only delayed us by about half a day. I'm kidding, it's my fault too. So this is Giuseppe in Porter. You got, what's your YouTube channel name?
Whitebreath.com.
Yeah, I'll
on Instagram.
I'll link it below the video so you can check it out. It's pretty cool footage. He also flying drone.
There's my dog barking in the car. It's Argo.
Yeah, and his camera gear is completely sick. His lenses are like crazy. Hey, buddy. Let's figure out where we're going. Grab your nav stuff and let's sit down and kind of cooperate where we're going. Yeah, I detailed everything, the lever, you know, before.
How was the motor show?
Totally not what I expected, right? Because I was thinking people would come by, just like Overland Expos.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to check out your rig, go inside, show in the back, this and that. But it was just in the center of the Canadian plaza, and some people actually, when they stop by, if I was around, I showed them, like, or like if I see people are looking quite a bit under, then I just start, like, just kind of approach and start talking, like, oh, this is like this and that, and the truck is sagged now. I actually I do have 6-inch lift, blah blah, and then conversation would kind of continue. That is cool. Eventually I needed to refill coffee, so I just popped my back there, right in the middle of downtown. People walking lunchtime. I'm just like, oh, Overland coffee, right? Like ghetto. Like I have my butane stove, and we, like, a couple of guys with me were kind of laughing, looking at people looking at like me, just like, the hell is this? Let's see the.
Like, I do have the navigator, but you have two LTE. Like, to have two internet connections.
I don't have any internet connection. I just have everything I pre-downloaded offline prior to the trip. Oregon and Washington.
I mean, usually, like.
Oh, this phone never has connection.
So that's just for other stuff.
Nav, music, drone, whatever, other stuff.
I have the tablet to do that, but I didn't download anything.
I kind of was thinking like police mount here, whatever, like tablet here, but then you have to
look at
like really. Whereas here, everything in front, like it's just like a little bit of jump of the eyes. Right here.
Oh yeah.
We actually need to try it before we go. All right. So what's that thing your friend recommended?
Do this road, Mount Hood.
This
is really nice.
Mount Hood, this road, but that's just a highway. See?
Oh yeah, this one is highway. I don't know if there are trees. He was just.
Or he was saying in this area somewhere you could like take some detour and there from highway.
Like there is this. This is all. Not highway, it's a Stadal road. It goes through the mountains, but we need to check how long it is and if it's open, because he said there might be snow. And then he basically says to go all the way down here and then get to
Bend. I was in Bend once.
You've been there?
Yeah, when I did my tour on Kia, my National Parks road trip, I was in all these areas. Well, yeah, like Crater Lake, all that stuff.
Crater Lake is beautiful, but we can't go now.
Why?
There is like 4 meters of snow.
Oh, okay.
That might be. Where is
so that's version 1, because that trip, that guide trip, the thing, the Oregon backcountry thing, because this one starts Portland and we go blah 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 here, right? Yeah. That one starts at Walala, and goes through Yetimala National Forest. Van Machel National Forest, so it kind of goes like this, and then it goes somewhere here, crossing through, and somewhere here it connects and goes down.
We still need to get to Walala.
Yeah, or well, it doesn't matter. It's like 7-hour drive, which would be this kind of similar anyway.
Yeah,
maybe 1 hour less. Everything went the way I planned it. Right, it was to leave Wednesday evening. So Wednesday evening, we would have made a push. We would have ended up at Oregon border.
Right there.
Right, pass through Washington, just zip through, and so essentially you start the next day right at Oregon already. But now it's like we lost that whole day almost. You know, the whole evening and half a day. But if we go to my backup route, country route thing, it's middle of Oregon. It's probably snow. Like we may actually be in more colder conditions than right now, potentially. Yeah. Indeed, we could push the Florence or somewhere coast, just push it, whatever, because there's lots of campgrounds on the way, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't have to be even Florence today, but can push it, camp somewhere, and while in the evening maybe, I don't know, check some stuff out and make a plan or something for coming 2 days. Because coast for sure is safer, right? You know it's gonna be cool, there is some scenery.
You wanna do Portland and then keep going, or we take this 101? I think it's better because now the day is lost. It's better we drive more today
That's what I'm saying.
Right, I agree. And then,
Yeah,
tomorrow
push as much as we can, let's say, to Florence, because then we have option either we can play in dunes or spend the evening today and figure out where we want to do next. If we can't figure out, there's always dunes nearby, there's something. Okay, so push to Florence.
Let's
target
Florence.
Yeah, and then wherever we end up. Yeah, okay.
That will be 8 o'clock. Well, now it's 1 actually.
For me, that's arriving early, because I usually arrive at 10 or 11.
Yeah, me too. I always
like
late. So if anything, if we are tired, we stop maybe.
That's good. It still gives several hours to just relax, drink beers, whatever, do things, have evening. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, but that doesn't account for gas stops and stuff like that. There's going to be at least 2.
Let's say 10. It's still fine, right?
Yeah, good. Oh, you're good. You're cool with 10.
Yeah.
Because when do you're owl, right? You're not sparrow, as far as sleeping patterns.
No owl.
Yeah. So like you go to bed at 2, 3 a.m. Good, perfect.
Now I sleep early. I go sleep at 11, 12, because I wake up at 6 in the morning.
Sometimes I do that too now, just because I pass out.
Okay,
well, just like doing videos. I don't know, too much. It seems like nowadays too much stuff going on, so it's like overload. Well, let's adjust CB radius and we're out. So we're at the border crossing. This is gonna take forever. We've been at the lineup already for like 20 minutes or so. It's taking way too long. Big lineup. And apparently Giuseppe, I thought being 6 years in Canada already, he has his passport, but apparently not. So he has Italian passport, and that complicates things. I guess he'll be detoured to pay some money to get some paper. We may potentially get split up right now. I don't know. So of course it couldn't be without complications. Indeed, like I arrived at the border, and first time I've ever seen anything like this. The guy is like, "Were you ever arrested?" I'm like, "No." So tell me, when were you arrested? I'm like, "I have never been arrested." And he's like looking at me suspiciously, and then he's like, "So when were you arrested in childhood?" I'm like, "I've never been." What? Like, and you know, I started getting confused. Like, what the hell is going on? And he kept on repeating. I think he went over like 8 times. Like, "Yeah, well, you're not telling the truth." I'm like, "Is this some new like interrogation thing? Like, what's up?" And then he kind of waited, and again, like, "You still didn't tell me when were you arrested in childhood?" I'm like, "Dude, like, I came as a teenager here. I was in Russia as a child, whatever." It's like, kids get arrested in childhood as well. So when were you arrested? I'm like, you know, at this point you started getting really annoyed. I'm like, okay, basically, I've never been arrested, so I don't know what you're talking about. So eventually, he just gave me the passport, and I told him, like, "Where are you going?" I told Oregon, and "We are," and he's like, "Oh, who is we?" And I pointed him to like that Jeep behind me. You know, he actually doesn't have passport. He has Italian one, so is there somewhere I can wait for him? He's like, "No, head to Blaine, you're gonna have to meet over there." So I'm gonna have to wait for Giuseppe. Alright, I'm recording this conversation now on GoPro, just so I can prove it how ridiculous you sound. Blah 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 blah, something blah blah. I swear, see, now you moved away, I'm pretty sure you were talking Italian to me, and now I can see your face. Let's see your face, come over here. Alright, now you talk to me. No, while I see your face, you say stuff. I could hear it. Something antenna, yes. Well, we kind of figured that out already. There's nothing that can be done right now, so it is what it is. Music on, and let's plow through, you know, to destination. It's okay. You can fix it when we get there. I see your concerned face. In fact, I'll let you play with it. It's okay. Tomorrow morning you can wake up and you can play with my antenna. I cook you food. You play with my antenna. It's gonna be good. All right, music on. Let's go. So last night shit happened. Giuseppe got into a car accident. So today we're at a towing company place, gather whatever leftover stuff he had in there and call insurance and start dealing with that process. And I'll be driving him home today. There's the Jeep in the distance there. I actually wasn't gonna shoot any of this. In fact, that footage I shot last night. Well, he took pictures, I took pictures as well for him in case he needs photos to support filing for insurance claim, anything like that. And I shot a little bit of video as well. But I wasn't gonna use any of that footage for vlog for this trip. But I guess he started feeling a little better today. So he's just like, oh yeah, just use whatever you want. So guess I'll go show the Jeep. So we were going down on I-5 from Portland to Tillamook, and this road was quite windy. It was already 11:30 p.m. He was getting tired, like even though we have CB radios, it's been proven on this trip that very hard to hear. My antenna wobbles, maybe it needs calibration indeed, but that's the thing, I don't have noise, I don't have static. It's just, it's hard for me to understand words, what he's saying. So it's kind of been a fail, communicating, like repeating constantly every time, like what we're saying to each other. And we're gonna push to somewhere near Oceanside in Oregon. To Oceanside is in town, to just park on the beach there, like deploy camping, but there is no way we would get there on time, like anywhere before like 1 a.m, that kind of thing. He woke up very early yesterday at 6 a.m. and hit the road. Pretty much been busy, like doing tire change, this and that, and us meeting. Then we were in a border crossing for like a good 40 minutes or so, waiting in a lineup. Plus we had to meet up at lunch, figure out where we're going, this and that. So that probably took about 40 minutes. Plus turned out he doesn't have his Canadian passport, he has Italian passport, so needed to get visa. I'm like, oh no, right? So now you can't just cross through, whatever. Need to detour and pay and do paperwork, and there were like 100 people. So I've been waiting for him at Blaine, Washington for like 2 hours, basically. And we both, and I slept in actually while he got delayed with tire change. Anyway, we actually hit the road after the border at about 4 p.m. Very late, and we needed to cover the distance. And I was saying, yeah, like we need to push. and arrive somewhere in the seashore, so that the next 2 days we actually get to ride somewhere and do some more interesting stuff rather than highway driving. Well, Giuseppe is alive, and I'll let him say a few words.
I was feeling tired. I was saying, okay, we should stop. We were looking for a place where to stop, and you know, like a service area or something, just to refresh and rest 10 minutes and then keep going towards the campground. And then all of a sudden I found myself basically upside down. So with my dog, that from the cargo area came all the way to the front seat, and airbags exploded and everything else. You have seen the image of the Jeep, so it's all demolished, it's right off, and it's not even a month old. So what we are doing now, I'm just trying to salvage the aftermarket parts. There was a brand new 2 inches lift on this thing and brand new tires as well, which we won't be able to take, obviously, but at least we can take the winch, the radios, and all the other aftermarket parts. And I don't know what's gonna happen now. If I get a new Wrangler, another one, I can still put all the same parts into that, and
you can still
start again.
You can still use that this winch on Power Wagon. I keep well, before I was joking, like, oh, before he got Jeep, like, you should get Power Wagon, you know. He's not into big giants like mine. And so I got my tools out here, and this is all his camera gear, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna relocate it, push it further in, so some space freed up for his winch and all that kind of stuff. It's always good to have all the tools and things on board, that's for sure. We're gonna kind of stop on the road somewhere, just kind of take a break and figure out just what's next, because we're kind of running out of time because we left very late Vancouver. But yeah, we just kept on driving through this mountainous road, and the road became very like curly, 55 miles an hour, paved road, but curvy and very kind of bumpy. So even my truck, like I was trying to look for places to stay on my 2 phones with one hand, but the road became, and he was trying to also communicate with me. Well, I couldn't understand through CB radio because of that bad issue with CB radio. But apparently at that time he was already saying to me that, hey, I'm tired, I just couldn't understand. I'm just like, sorry, I need 2 hands to focus on the road, because at that point I did, like, once I did a few hops, I'm like, oh my god, okay, gotta really pay attention here. But still I tried to later squeeze in, like, browsing my maps to see any. At this point, didn't matter, official campground or unofficial campground, something around Tillamook, not on the seashore, near seaside town, where initially I thought we would end up that day. And next thing, well, I saw him kind of wobble around on the road a little bit, but I thought maybe he's just playing, like, I didn't give it extra bit of thought, maybe, well, because I was probably tired myself already at that time. I just assumed, like, just probably cutting corners, like going onto a little bit onto the oncoming traffic lane around the corners, kind of thing. Because, you know, sometimes you kind of do it just to maintain speed. So that's what I thought was happening. Okay, whatever. I was just browsing my maps, and then I saw kind of in the distance. I think he was 150 meters in front of me, something like that, and I saw, like, change of flashing lights, like, just, well, that's, I guess, when the car already, like, went this side, bumped into a hill, right, and then kind of like tilted that way, and that's when headlights, I guess, illuminated trees. So basically I saw that spike of light, and when I, you know, looked at in front of me at that time, I already saw him on 2 wheels, on on his left side, on 2 wheels, flipping on the side, and then the car turning around. Well, I was completely like, what the just happened? So I just stopped right there and actually ran quite a bit to his car. It's good, actually, I stopped my car that much further, because later the oncoming traffic was so fast. Like there was couple of times where I thought they would even bump into my truck there. And there's some guys passing, a semi truck stopped, and so yeah, so I ran to the Jeep, and I see, like, I climb on this side on top, and I see there's like a little bit of smoke inside of inside. I'm like, get out, because like on TV shows, like, it's advised everywhere, they say, like, if there's an accident, you gotta get people out of a car fast, because you never know, could be gas leakage or something, car could explode, you just don't know. And I saw that smoke, I'm like, holy, get the hell out of here. He was a little bit still in a shock, just like, of course, in that moment he made sure the dog is fine, and they were both kind of laying on the glass on the other side. But yeah, he passed me the dog, we got out, and that's when, like, there was already a semi-truck arrived, and another car. And semi-truck driver was actually cool. He just helped us out with suggestions, plus fresh mind, right? We were still kind of like in this whatever adrenaline panic mode. But the way he flipped, he was blocking both roads. Like, basically it's one lane each way, blocking both roads, essentially being in the middle. So we decided, well, let's use my winch and either winch him or just pull him, drag him behind. So I came in, turned my truck around, tried to use my wireless winch. However, apparently my wireless controller died now. I need to figure out, I need to look up if I need to replace batteries or they need to be charged somehow. But I have cable, so once I plugged cable, everything worked. So we just hooked it up to a frame here, and frame is bent on this guy. I think I mentioned it already a little bit here and there. So we used a strap around, and just hid behind my truck just in case anything snaps. All right, because I can't be at a distance, I have to have a wire close by, so I just kind of went around the corner. Yeah, just flipped it over, and then dragged it a little bit to just one lane, just to take fully one lane, and that's it, so other cars can go by. It's mountainous road, there was no connection whatsoever, but some people that passed by after we unblocked the road, they called 911. An ambulance amazingly arrived like 5 minutes, no, like 10 minutes after. But that's because we're already probably less than 10 minutes away from Tillamook, something like 10 minutes away. So it's like we're almost there. So obviously he's unhurt. Well, actually I didn't mention that part, but yeah, it's amazing, not a single scratch. Dog is alive. But later we noticed him driving that he hurt his paw, so yeah, we used some antibacterial cream on that. But overall, both of them, like, just amazingly untouched. Yeah, so then cops arrived later, and I think we chatted around with cops for about 2 hours or so, waiting for a tow truck. And yeah, so the tow truck arrived, we jumped in, got in the first motel, closed. Okay, second motel opened. That was already 3 AM, and this happened probably around 11:30. We were at the place for about 2.5 hours, tow truck, plus doing all this winching stuff. And yeah, went to bed at like 5, drank some beers. I think he went to bed quite, like, pretty much right away. And today in the morning it's just been dealing with this and calling insurance, and he's trying to take like bumper, not bumper, winch off, because this is gonna be required by insurance, well, for sure. But some aftermarket parts, may as well take them, and like the winch, the radius, and a few other items here. Obviously can't do anything about lift and tires, but it is what it is. But that's still good, because like in BC, ICBC, they wouldn't allow it to do anything in Canada. Monopoly, right? Whereas here it's like, well, yeah, take whatever aftermarket parts, like they actually said, go ahead. So this concludes this unsuccessful adventure. Well, it is still adventure, just a shitty one. Yeah, he's loving, yeah. Giuseppe, will you ever be joining me again?
Always.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because
shit happened. You can't just stop doing things because shit happened. You know,
well, I seriously, yesterday I was thinking like it's a lot my fault because I was like pushing you to like ride harder,
it's
keep
always
the
my
distance.
choice. I could have said no, right? Everybody's
Yeah.
responsible of their own actions. It's just
That's
a good
true,
message
still.
to send that tell it to stop. It's not worth.
Yep.
We could not be here talking now.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess.
No, definitely in the future I'll be watching my fatigue levels very carefully, for sure. I've had similar situations like him. One was like that kind of, where my eyes were like closed and I could barely keep them up. At some point, if anything like this happens ever in the future, I will not even bother looking for campgrounds. I'll just stop on the side of a road, and if cops come by saying, hey, you need to move, then it is what it is. But yeah, no point risking. All right, I guess see you next episode. Ciao.
Bye.
How do you say ciao, bella? Let's say it in Italian.
Ciao a tutti ragazzi.
До свидания. Well, I hope you liked this episode, and if you did, you can support me by hitting the like button and subscribe, and also check out my previous videos by hitting the links below or just after this video.